All right, guys, welcome everyone. So we've just had Black Thursday as the day is already being called. And we saw Bitcoin drop. Let's break down what's happening. Last night, that is, from Thursday to Friday, there was quite a significant move, putting it mildly. Bitcoin dropped below $60,000, almost 17% in a single day. A wave of liquidations, total panic. People are panicking, they don't know what's going on. If we talk a bit about the prerequisites for this turn of events, let's rewind and see what happened. Basically, there were several events that preceded this drop. First of all, we have the appointment of the future head of the Federal Reserve, who is considered, as they say, a hawk. To put it in a slightly different way, he will pursue a significantly more rigorous and stringent policy regarding the Federal Reserve and international financial flows. Furthermore, another critical development that occurred recently is that some unexpectedly sluggish and remarkably weak labor market data was officially released to the public. Let me remind you, we're currently in the reporting season. Corporations are reporting for the financial year, and overall the reports are all quite good. That is, both Google and Palantir have reported, and in general everyone has decent reports, meaning they're within expectations. And just recently released the labor market employment report. It caused quite a serious panic. But what we saw yesterday, of course, was not caused specifically by this report. I'm just explaining what the prerequisites were for what we saw. A lot of people, on the contrary, were expecting a rebound from that 74 level because there were good corporate reports, but no one expected bad labor market data. And by the way, these bad labor market numbers, there are a lot of layoffs. In companies, they can serve as a kind of hypothesis that in May or June, the new head of the Fed might slightly lower the key interest rate, precisely in order to ease the burden on corporations. And the current report, in fact, could work out well in the long term. But the main key question is this the bottom or not yet? Have we stopped falling, or do we still have more declines ahead? Actually, I wanted to show you this picture. So look, if we look at Bitcoin globally, I'm going to zoom out as much as possible. Oh, wait. Okay, yes, that's it, actually, that's all. In fact, that's it. I've zoomed out as much as possible. So notice that globally, Bitcoin is in a long-term upward trend still. Just yesterday, Bitcoin almost touched the lower boundary of this global trend. It's an upward channel within which Bitcoin has been moving basically since its inception, since the very beginning. So from 2023 to the present, basically, we haven't seen any staggering growth. What we previously perceived and considered to be significant growth and a new all-time high was actually just, let's say, merely the halfway point or the midpoint to the actual absolute maximum potential level in this specific channel. So, which indicates that we are currently still positioned right here. Essentially, we're in a large long-term accumulation phase. Still, and note that Bitcoin is still in a global uptrend once again. So, there's no talk of Bitcoin being massively sold off or any kind of catastrophe happening. Therefore, based on this, I conclude that we really have already found the bottom. That is, this bottom that we've seen together in the past 24 hours, that's it. That was the very bottom. Sorry for the tautology. So it's unlikely that we'll go any lower. At least at this moment, I don't see any reasons for that. Like some bloggers are writing that we'll go down to 50,000. Well, for now, personally, I don't see it. I don't know, maybe something will happen. But at the moment, we're still in a global uptrend. And in my opinion, we really are already at the bottom. We've just found that very bottom. Regarding Bitcoin dominance, I also wanted to show you that Bitcoin dominance has also been in a long-term uptrend since 2023. But lately there's been a significant change. So I have reason to believe that Bitcoin's share of the overall crypto market will decrease. Right now it's at 58%. I think we can quite reasonably expect dominance to fall to 53% or even down to 50%. So somewhere in that zone. But of course, this won't happen quickly. Well, so the picture so far is that if Bitcoin's dominance drops, this should lead to a rise in altcoins. That's how it looks accordingly. As for Bitcoin, what do I personally expect right now? What scenario seems most likely? At the moment, I think there will be a bounce back to the 69 mark. There's not much left to reach it actually. And after that, the price will likely return back to the 75-85 mark, so basically back up. It will return to this range. Whether there will be more dips down to 60,000, I don't know. It's quite possible. In other words, 2026 has started off very nervously for us. But it does seem like this is really the minimum we've already reached. And there's a very strong oversold condition. If we look at the RSI index, the RSI is showing maximum oversold levels. If we look at the volumes, in terms of volume as well, we can see this here. There's a maximum selling volume, after which, as a rule, there's usually a rebound upward. So here it really does seem like we found the bottom. Once again, let me make a clear disclaimer. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not reading tea leaves here. I'm just sharing my own opinion. So these very moments of being oversold, like right now, they really do seem like ideal moments to enter the market. Well, at least if we're talking specifically about Bitcoin right now, that's what we're discussing. That's how it is, friends. So yes, the market is quite unsettled right now. It's certainly an interesting start to the year for us. But it's precisely in moments like these that big money is really made, not when everything is calm. I think that those who can calmly and steadily endure this drop right now and make the right moves will likely be rewarded by the market in the near future. That's all for now, friends. Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Goodbye. If you enjoyed the review, please give it a like. Let me know what you'd like me to add to my review if you feel something is missing. That's all. Have a nice day. Goodbye.